Well, good morning. It's Sunday, just about 9 o'clock. Kevin's here. We've got the gold bike back up on the lift, and we're going to put the timing cover on right now. We got it back from AMR in Tucson, so that's going to be our first thing today. Then we'll pop over to the other side and torque down the clutch nut and the front drive nut and be ready to seal that cabin, that timing side case. All right. I'm still not awake. It's 9 o'clock and I'm not awake. Anyway, so we won't close it though. We'll then mount the battery up on the battery box. I've got everything necessary to make the new cables, and we'll start doing the wiring so that we can spin the motor with the new starter. Then we'll close up the primary. In the meantime, by the way, somebody was looking at Fred as a possible purchase eventually. Don't remember who. So if anybody's looking at Fred as a possible purchase, may I introduce them to this yellow bike that belongs to Roger, and he will sell this bike. And as of yesterday, we got it started again. And it was really sounding really good. It's a pretty bike. It's all yellow, and it runs like a top. So we can put you in touch with Roger if you're interested. If you're local area and interested in a Norton, this would be a really good one. So anyway, that's where we are. Okay, we're gonna go actually start doing some work now. Let's see, here it is. Here's the modified timing cover. Here's the connectors for the starter wires. Here's the new seals for the primary timing cover. Here's the modified pump and pump gasket and cover gasket, and the instructions here that are supplied with the system. So that's where we are. We're gonna do that right about now, and we're just getting started for the day. Okay, so we pulled the old seals out. They are now into the leftover junk pile. The new seals are in. This one goes facing in because the pressure is coming this way. And this one is facing in because the pressure is going that way. So the pressure side is in here, and the pressure side is in there. Okay? Here's the new ball valve. That gets activated by pulling this pin out after this cover is in place. New gasket. The book says put it on dry, so we put it on dry. This is the seal for this junction between here and here is a big fat O-ring to accommodate the modification. This is a spare. It's nice. Mike gives us a spare, which is cool. This is the special tool that's necessary to keep this seal from being damaged during the installation. You put this on the end of the cam before you put this cover on, so it won't catch this lip. If you don't have this tool, when you put this on, it'll catch the lip of the cam and rotate this down, the little spring will pop out, and you won't have any oil pressure protection there. So new seal, new gasket, which we will use red stuff on, and new gasket, which we will not. Kevin is over there putting the studs in and getting the nuts ready for this to get in the timing cover. And that's where we are. We're going to go ahead and start the installation. All right, so just take the last few strokes of sliding this on. We just got it started, and sliding it on and tapping it down just gently. Now, what you have to do is make sure that this guy has grabbed the gear, okay? And it has. So you'll see this guy rotate just a little bit as it rides the gear down into place. Nice and solid. All right. We're going to put the star washers on and the nuts on and call it good. exactly and precisely 12.25 pounds of torque. The rubber seal is in place on the pump, and at this point in time, we can drop on the cover. I'm going to get the tool and put it in here, and we'll be right back when we actually do the installation. All right, it dawned on us we should just hang on for a second.
Yeah, I'm gonna put it on.
It dawned on us that all the blue tape I had on the outside of that cover is going to get in the way of the bolts. So we took all the blue covering off. We're ready to slide this on. I went ahead and stuck a fingerful of grease on the inside of each of these oil seals. It matches the grease we put on there, and maybe let the one slide on smoother. Kevin is now going to put it in place and settle it down. And with just a tap of his hands, and pop it in place. Very good.
There it is.
There it goes. And so the tool has protected the seal in there, which is very important. And he's going to start putting them suckers in. These chrome-plated Allen bolts are not original, so we're being careful. We're going to put the longer ones at the bottom, shorter ones at the top. The counts work out that way. The lengths fit the bottom holes, and the shorter ones fit the top holes just fine, so that's what we're doing. Kevin's going to go around starting at the bottom. Oh, he's going to do it by hand. Oh,
yeah, just to make sure, because I heard a little clunk there.
You conscientious person.
Fear is a good motivator.
You know, take the ratchet off and use the thing as like a screwdriver.
Yeah.
At least that's faster.
Yeah.
No? Okay.
I just want to get them started, so I feel.
So you're not going to snug them all the way around?
No, just enough. I just want to make sure they're in there and not hitting metal, so I don't go pop, 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 pop.
Okay.
Which scares me to death.
All right.
Yeah, I think they're all pretty
All
well
right,
lined
that's cool.
up. Yeah, they're going in fine. If it was your bike, I wouldn't care, but since it's a customer's bike, and a beautiful bike at that, just makes me feel safer.
This is a scary bike.
Yeah, when they're this pretty. Yeah. Yeah, now I feel good.
Okay. Nice start at the very bottom and then go alternate
Yep.
front, rear, very bottom. Go to one left. Snug that, then snug right, left. Okay.
Which one
now,
you want?
what I would do at this point in time, you've got one there,
Right,
snug
start.
this one.
Okay.
And then you can work your way around, alternating, you know,
Yep.
however you are comfortable with it. It's going. Okay. Yep.
Not a perfect star pattern, but it works.
All right. Now at this point in time, I will probably take the Allen and go around by hand. Go ahead, work your way around by hand, getting them as tight as you feel is comfortable, and then I'll come up behind you and do the Del Monte check.
That's the only one that makes me nervous.
Yeah,
It's all yours.
It's all weird. All right, here, take this, and I'll just go around, see what we see.
Can I flip the other
I
side?
saw you worried about that one.
Yeah.
Like it might be stripped. So let's just hit these. I like them. You're doing good.
Yep. Getting a feel for it.
Yeah. Oh, well, that's fine.
Okay.
Double check this one. Just give
Yep.
it. No, that's fine.
Good. Okay. Good.
I'm not getting any nudge factor at all. This is really good. Way to go. All right, I've been all the way around. Now the fun part is we're going to do a zoom in and see if you can hear the click when I pull the pin on this guy.
You hold that and I'll pull it. So
All right. I'm going to get this as close as I can, so maybe you can actually hear the click. Hang on.
Yep.
I'm
Just tell me
zoomed
when.
in, and I'm going to go right like this. Okay, go ahead and pull the pin. I don't know if you heard the click, but the click was there. That activates, that releases the ball valve, and it is now installed. Okay, so now we can put the ignition pickup here. We've got the pressure regulator over there. We're going to put that here. Hook up the oil line to the top end, and that'll complete this side of the motor. All right, so I'm going to zoom out, and we got to put a new gasket on there.
Oh yeah.
That old gasket was cracked.
Oh really?
So, yeah, so I got to find a gasket in my gasket drawer. Okay.
Oh yeah.
Yes,
It's this one that's broken. Yeah,
it's broken. That came out broken. It's plastic. I don't like plastic.
Yeah. That's
So we're going to find ourselves a copper washer for that. All right, we'll be back in a few minutes. All right, timing case is on. We're going to hook up this oil line and insert the oil pressure unit here. I've got the oil pressure unit over here, actually on the bench, but really over here in the vise. I've got it holding the outer circumference and using a wrench to break this free, of which I have already done before I remembered to start videoing. So I'm going to take this apart just to look inside, clean it out, and I'll put you into the tripod at this point. Okay, I've got the oil pressure control unit here in my hand, and I've loosened it up. We're going to take it apart and clean it out. This bike is so new, so clean, it's probably just, this is an exercise in not needed, but while we're here, we'll do a video on it, okay? Now, Kevin, answer your question, because it's a good question.
Professor.
Yes.
This oil pressure valve is connected to nothing. So what does it do? I mean, it can't give you a warning. What does it do?
Okay, how it controls the oil pressure is that there's a piston in here, oil pressure is here, and once it reaches a set pressure, it just throws away the oil back down into the bottom of the engine.
Got it.
It doesn't control it through it.
Gotcha.
It just throws away the excess pressure.
Gotcha.
The Norton, I believe, is a low pressure system. I don't think it runs more than 15, 20 pounds.
Okay.
That's a guess.
Yeah.
Okay. Like the Triumphs are high pressure. They run 40, 50 pounds. And I've got an oil pressure gauge on my bike that comes off a different fitting, and I can watch the oil pressure. So anyway, that's how it works. So we're going to take this apart and just check the inside and then put it back together, and then put it back on the bike. Okay? So I'm going to set this up here and just zoom in a little bit here and try to keep my big fat arms out of the video. And I'm going to work right in that area. All right, so let's just open this up. Isn't that cute?
Yeah.
I love that.
It's a pin.
And this is the broken washer, and I have a new one. So let's see what we have here. Okay, spring, washer, and the plunger is inside. Usually you can put your little finger in there and grab it, and it'll come out. There, it goes in like that. So it goes in like this. Okay, Now, sometimes when you take them apart, you'll find spacers in here. People have put them in there to increase the oil pressure. The only time I've ever wanted to put a spring in there was one time when I put it all together and then rattled the thing, and I could hear just rattling around inside because the spring had either collapsed or something. So I put enough spacers inside this so that it didn't rattle, and that worked just fine. Okay, reaching across for a paper towel, and I guess a bottle of CRC. Let's just clean this up and put it back together. I think the first time I did this on video, I did it backwards and somebody caught it and probably saved my life. That was a long time ago. So nice and clean. Okay. And here's a little stuff. I don't know if you can see a little bit of stuff that came out of it. Nothing major, but what was that?
Well, I'm going to take these two mats together, see if they'll sliding. You know, usually.
Okay. All right, put it back together. Slide goes in. Beautiful. Spring goes in. Gasket goes on. Nut goes on. And when you snug it down, there's no rattle. Okay? And I'm going to tighten this down now. I'll turn this around, or I'll just let you watch. Let's see how this goes. I'm just going to catch the edge of the larger face and working at, you don't want to do this. Ready to go back on. With the new gasket. I'll put some red stuff on it and put it on the bike. Let's see if I can get this installed with keeping my arm out of the photo. All right, so. All right, so that's in. Now I got to find the 2 copper washers for this and put that on there. All right, I'm going to hook up the rocker arm oil line. I've got 2 new copper washers. Always pull it down just a little bit so it doesn't go straight in.
Okay.
Don't know why, but I always do. Then hold it and tighten it. All right. I think we're going to go work on the primary side. All right, we're getting ready to do the rotor center nut. And you know what? We're looking at the book, aren't we? It's for
Yes.
80 pounds. Let's see if there's anything in the Alton instructions about the how many pounds they suggest, if they suggest any at all. Okay, the Norton book calls for 80 pounds on that front nut. It's a lot. Alton in their instructions call for 65 to 70. I'm much more comfortable with 65, possibly to 70 than I am to 80. So we've got the primary chain locked with the plastic lock, and we're now going to work our way up to, what do you got set for your first shot, Kevin? 30? Okay, here we go with 30. Seems like a lot, doesn't it?
It does. It scared me to death.
There's 30. Okay, we got ourselves a click. What do you want to go to? 40?
40, yeah.
Gonna go to 40. Work your way up. All right.
Yeah. All right, nice 40.
Now, somebody out there is going to ask, when did you last calibrate your torque wrench? And I distinctly remember it was exactly early last November. Scary, isn't it? 40. We got 40 on it. Do I hear 50? 40 going once, going twice. We got 50. One final bidder. Go to 60.
Yep.
I'll tell you what.
Uh-huh.
I'm going to take the pressure off. Give me that thing.
That's all right. I don't mind. Hey, if it breaks, you're the boss. It's not my fault.
I know, but you know.
I know.
This is scary stuff, and I'm not going to subject you to it. Okay, you're right on 60, right on 60. Yep. There's 60.
All right.
What do you want to do? 65 or 70?
It says 65 to 70. I go to 65.
And color gun.
Yeah, because we're having it down anyway.
Are you locking this up? Actually, this is the lock down here. Oh, you're right. It is getting harder. $65. 70. Oh, we're going to go to 70.
Sit over here and pray.
There it is. We got the big 7-0. All right. Now we have an interesting locking assembly here. I'll zoom in and show it to you, and then we will activate it. I'm going to move the camera out of the holder now, taking the camera with me. I just pushed a button. I don't know what happened on the camera. Let's see. They give you a locking mechanism that goes under the bolt here, down here, and gives you like 20 feet, tiny little feet. So we're just going to go under here with on a couple of these with a very fine. You have that very, very fine chisel we had this morning?
I don't know.
We'll be right back. And here we are down on our knees praying to the Norton gods. We have a very, very small, fine chisel. I'm going to try to get underneath these little bitty tabs without messing things up. And as soon as we get them up, we can then do them with the slip joint pliers if you want. So just do one or two.
Yeah, so just got the one there.
All right, put one there. Yeah. Okay, as soon as you get it up, we can do it.
Yeah.
You get two of them? Cool.
I
All right.
will. Got them.
All right. I'll put one on the far side and one or two on the far side. And we'll pretend that that's good.
Oh, come on, baby. There we go.
Okay.
Good, good couple up here.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, might as
Oh,
well.
we're getting thorough, aren't we?
Yeah, might as well. You know.
All right. All right. And those are the slip joints back there.
Nothing like seeing my bald head.
Well, the shine is causing the video to flare. A terrible flare here right now. Yeah, go.
Down here too, yeah.
All right. Okay. All right, so we got the front nut torqued,
And tabbed.
and tabbed, torqued and tabbed, and the back one torqued and tabbed. And
Yeah, we're good.
yeah, we're in good shape. At this point in time, we could close it up, but we're not going to. I want to do the spin with the case open. Okay. We'll finish putting the bike together and do a first spin, maybe today, maybe not. Okay, actually and truly, we just realized we're really not ready for closing up the primary. So Kevin just loaded the clutch with all the clutch plates. We're getting ready to put the clutch retainer spring in, and we'll show you that how that is done. It's a dangerous little deal. So yeah, you can go ahead, put the plate in, and then run that around. Since we have the plate set for removal, it should go in here pretty smoothly. Now you just have to catch the end while holding. Let me hold it in place for you, just for the heck of it. You have to catch the end and then sort of walk it around. Now catch the inner end right there. Catch him first.
Yep, that's what I'm looking for.
And then just sort of walk the spring all the way around.
Yep.
There you go.
Yep.
Good. Use the hammer to hit it hard.
Yeah, because that's not in.
Yeah. You always reach for the little one.
I know, what can I tell you?
There you go. Just tapping it all the way around, and that lets the spring, see it settle right into the. I could actually see it settle into the groove when he hit it there.
Looking good.
Okay, now, as your last final, before I shut her down, come in like this and sort of push it in like that, just on both sides, and get it all the way
Yep.
into that groove. Okay. All right, 3/4 inch wrench, we'll release that.
This is why you stand to the side in case it comes shooting out.
In case it explodes out.
That's right. I'm
Good.
gonna be old, but I'm not dead.
Yeah, it will come out with vengeance. Okay. All right, we should have a clutch rod around here somewhere.
It's in the box.
Is it in the box?
Yeah. It's in the box.
Ah, okay. Clutch rod in. And we got to do a cleanup because this is big.
Probably in the box too.
Probably.
In a bag.
This is old stuff. It's not being reused.
Okay. There it is.
Got it? All right. Okay, so we're going to do the clutch rod adjustment now, which is interesting. I think this is a hydraulic clutch, isn't it?
Nope.
No?
I'm not seeing.
Nope, it's all right, good. Okay, so there's, at this point, there's absolutely no pressure on the clutch cable. So we can do it the traditional way of all the way in and back it out a 1/4 turn.
Now, when you say all the way in with the nut on it, so that the nut is flush.
Now leave the nut all the way out at
Right,
at
at
the
the
outer end.
Right.
Take the adjuster in until it touches the push rod. And then make sure you got a nice solid touch to it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay?
Mm-hmm.
And I'll back off about a 1/2 turn or 1/4 turn. That gives you a gap inside. Okay. Now holding that, we want to lock down the lock nut. Right. Okay? Yeah, what size is that? Maybe 3/4. Yeah. That's my first guess.
Doesn't matter, whatever I grab will be wrong. Ooh. Yep, that's right.
Okay, so hold the center. And let me zoom in on this because this is a fun. This is fun. This is what we do and sort of joke about it. So you snug it down.
There you go.
You snug?
Go ahead, yeah.
Okay, now do it by hand.
Yep.
And then we take a striker. Roughly, in this case, we're going to use a 7/8. He's going to hold it. I'm going to hold it. Give it 2 good smacks. And as they say, Bob's your uncle. Oh, loud noise. Yeah. All right. Okay, so at this point in time, now this time, we've got the clutch put together fully. Let's put the stator on the alternator. Okay? And we'll be back in a minute. Okay, so while all you watchers were off having a coffee break, we put the alternator bracket onto the bike. I also forgot to start the video, but that's, what can I say? This is really because you guys are sucking down coffee. So anyway, now we're putting the stator on, and what we're going to do is put it in place and fighting the magnets tooth and nail. And then we're going to put spacers in there to set the gap. So right now everything's sort of loosey-goosey, so we can set the gap between the magnets in the stator, the magnets in the rotor, and the stator assembly that Kevin is frantically trying to locate right now. Okay, do you want me to get you a tapered drift or something?
No, it's just.
Got one started?
Yep.
Good.
That's always
Okay, now stop. We have to back up.
Okay.
We have to put a washer on the outside, as you have,
Right.
but also on the inside.
Okay.
It needs a spacer on the inside to
Inside.
space this correctly.
Okay. Start again.
All right, we're going to start again. And the one on the inside is just a joy because the magnet makes it really difficult to do. So you're going to have to sort of hold the stator in your hand, putting all 3 bolts through with their exterior washers in place. Put the interior washer on and then put it all together and not let the magnet grab everything that you're working with. Other than that, it's really, really easy. Mm-hmm. And what I think I do is put the top one in place like you had with both washers in it. And then I put the next one in and try to slide the washer underneath in place. I think that's the way I've been doing it. I also think that I have to learn this every time I do this. Even though I've probably put a dozen of these things on, it's not that often. That's over 20 years.
All right. I'm taking the gloves off.
Oh, Kevin's taking the gloves off.
That's right.
We're going to do
get
battle.
cranky now. Holy Jesus.
Yeah, so you have to get that under there and not let the magnet grab it.
Yeah, that ain't gonna happen. Holy crow.
You can do it. You can do it.
Yes,
You're Superman.
my knees don't work that way.
You know,
That's too low.
all that Tai Chi you're doing, I'm not sure it's good for you, boy.
Well, my back's fine. It's just my knees don't do squat. Shit.
Do you want to try a drift to hold the washers in place?
I'm gonna have to, because I gotta move the stator over.
All right. Try using one of these as a drift to get the washer behind it, and then I'll try to move the whole unit. All right.
Yep. Okay, I've got that.
Mm-hmm.
Now move the unit.
I can use this over here to move the stator.
Okay, now everything will just stay there. Damn, looks like we're let go. Come on now. He wants to grab it. No, I grabbed it.
You got a thread?
Yep.
Okay, now is the washer behind it still in
I
place?
don't know. Let's have to check. Yes.
Okay, so you got a washer behind it on the
Yeah.
side. Cool, you got one more to go, big guy.
No, that's on your side.
It's on my side,
That's right.
he says. All right.
Oh, shit.
Oh, Kevin. Oh, we'll just start over here.
I know.
But you're good at this now.
I know. You're the damn supervisor. It's your fault.
That's true. It's always management's fault.
Okay, that's right. Okay, yeah, be careful. We don't lose that little washer.
You're not. The magnet's going to get it.
No, okay. Yep.
And here's the other one.
All right, rotate one more time.
Okay.
Yeah, at least we know how to do it now.
Yeah.
And the good news is we caught it before we had all 3 of them.
That's true.
Yep, slid over.
Okay, so which way do you want me to rotate?
Gotta go that way.
I think the whole thing needs to rotate.
It does. There's no
Yeah.
question. Yeah, because you can see. Well, yeah, just pull it all off. We got to start over.
Why is the thing out?
No, but I think it's going to slide.
Let me see what's inside there.
Yeah, see, the whole thing is.
All right, that's good. Let's see. I'm going to move it down here.
Yeah.
There.
There. Okay. Got thread.
You got thread?
Mm-hmm.
You got thread. I got thread.
Okay.
All right, so now you get to do this.
Again. Here we go again.
How's that?
I missed the washer. Where the hell is it?
Look for the nearest magnet.
Yeah.
But
I can't tell if I got the washer here. Easy to tell in a second. If it moves.
I'll get a flashlight, see if you can see it.
Okay, I did get the washer.
You got the washer?
Yep.
All right. So are you right about here should be good.
Yep. Got thread.
You got thread, and you got washer inside and out.
Yep, I'm going to double check on the inside. Let's see what it looks like it. Yep.
Okay, so now I get to do this one. All right. Okay, so I've got washer inside, outside. Let's check this one up here. Washer inside, outside. And there's a third one over here somewhere. Here, okay. Washer inside, outside. All right. So at this point, we do the spacing, and we use the little plastic shims they gave us. Well, see, that's the fun of it. We need to move it around.
Yep.
So that we can get those shims in.
Yes, it's got to go that
All
way
right,
and
so
that way.
let me use this. So we got it up here.
Yeah. Here
So
and
now
here.
let's try to lift it up,
Okay.
and I'll do that by gently prying this down.
Okay.
Okay, so you got good.
Yep. We got to go sideways.
Like
Okay.
that. How many of those will give you?
2 more.
Okay, it might be a 2 more.
This is going to go up a bit. That.
Yeah, you try to get
so that
underneath
way. Yeah.
every
Yeah.
magnet.
Right. Yeah. So it's got to go up.
There it goes. All right. Okay, so we got a spacer under every 2 magnets right now. So at this point in time, let's tighten down the outers, and then we'll tighten down the inners. Okay?
Okay. Yep. And put all the same size. Others all the same size. this work.
Mhm.
Can't get it past the stator.
You can do it.
Go ahead.
Come on, we can do it. We can do it. Son of a bitch. Did we tighten it down when we did it?
It was fairly tight. I mean, it wasn't super tight.
I don't like it.
Mm-mm.
Shit. All right, well, you're right. Okay, stop. Let's, so we did just the 2. So that's pretty important.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Okay, well, we're going to stop for a moment because we thought we would tighten down that bracket afterwards. We wanted to have some little slack. That was a mistake. So we get to put the rotor, the stator back on again because we want to tighten down that bracket.
Third time's a charm.
Third time's the charm. And this is us keeping our promise to you that when we screw up, we'll publish it. Okay? And we screwed up, and we're publishing it.
Yeah,
so you'll get to see us. Yeah,
it's easily fixable. A screw up is when you go, oh.
That's a good point. This
it's a mistake.
This is a minor inconvenience.
Yes, exactly. Hey, we're getting better lining the thing up. That's what's important.
That's true. All right, so
Make it perfect.
we're going to stop for a moment. All right, put it on the stator, take 14. We've actually faced it the correct direction this time. The wires reach the connectors here this time.
Okay.
Okay, now.
1.
That's a 1. All right. You ready to do the other one?
Yeah, what the heck.
Okay.
This is in the right place.
This is in the right place.
Okay, yeah.
Facing the right way.
Yeah.
Okay. Now you got your inner on the, you got your outer on the bolt, and you're putting the bolt through right now.
Well, no, I'm putting
That's what I mean.
this thing through.
All
Yep,
right.
Okay, I got that.
That should give you a good lineup right there.
Yep.
Now I'm going to hold pressure on it
Uh-huh.
while you put that in.
Yep. We're good. Okay.
Boy, that sure is easy.
Yeah. 14th time.
Mm-hmm. Now I get to put the inner
That's right.
and hold pressure on it and then put in the bolt.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, now then. Okay, so now I'm in.
I've got pressure on it.
Okay, let go. All right, so now let's load it up with spacers again. Okay, we're going to put one shim under every 2
Yep.
magnets. Well, that's a 1. Okay.
It's got to go down.
This has to go up. Okay, so go under here like that and like that. Okay, now I'm going to take that. Okay, so we got spacer in there, every one of them. At this point in time, we're back to where we were before when we discovered we hadn't done the Hamidova and the Ramadama. So we can tighten these down now. You, so now, if you avoid all the false starts that we just did,
That's right.
it's really very straightforward.
What that one guy call us, wankers?
You call them wankers, yeah. The guy says, yeah, uncomfortable watching us.
Yep.
I fully understand.
That's right. He's uncomfortable watching us. You ought to be on the other side of the camera, thinking how uncomfortable it is knowing you're being watched.
Which, brings me to, hey, everybody out there, these are not supposed to be instructional or educational. These are progress reports to the clients. which I never made private. So if you glean some information out of these videos, well, that's wonderful. If you don't, that's okay too, because the purpose is for the client and everything else is gravy. Bob's your uncle, you know? So we hook these to these very nice connectors here. Maybe a pair of pliers. I'm going to hold that inner one. Long nose, yeah. No long nose. I may use these. I want to push these wires. Okay, I got the wires connected, and I'm going to zoom in on this area, and so you can see the wires. And now we're just yanked those spacers out, Kevin, and we've actually I can reach right around. Go ahead, just pull them out. That gives us a good 10 thousandths clearance all the way around. That's nice. Everything's bolted down tight. Now, where we were before when we said all we have to do is put the cover on, that's where we are. All we have to do is put the cover on, which we are not going to do right now. We will do it after we do the first spin of the engine using the starter motor. And that's going to be after I make the cable that goes to the starter motor, that connects here, that goes up under here to the relay, which is currently living right up here. I'm doing this with the, okay, there's the relay up underneath the battery box right there. So I need a cable that goes from there to the power pole on the starter motor, and then a cable from there that goes the other lug up to the battery up here, and the battery from up here down to the other connector. Let's see, battery up here to there, from there to the power motor, and then we also have the ground wire that we have to hook up. So we have some wiring to do on the starter before we spin it. All right, so we're going to take a break right now. Okay, Kevin went home. He's got stuff to do at the house. It's Sunday, so the poor boy should have at least half a day out, half a day off. It's about noon 20 or so. I'm going to do a little bit more work here before I call it a day. Now, we got the starter completely installed. All we have to do is wait to spin the motor, this motor with this motor, and then we can close this case up. We're not going to be able to do that until I get some electrons from the battery to this pole, and I get this ground wire grounded. Now, right now, this ground wire is too short. It won't go to the battery. And the proper way to ground it is to ground it to the battery. I mean, I could go to the frame, but I'm not going to do that. I'm going to make a new wire that goes all the way up to the positive side of the battery, and that gives you a ground all the way down to the case of the starter motor. Then I'm going to make a cable that goes from negative behind it down to the starter relay. And then from the starter relay, we'll go all the way down to this hot connector on the starter. And it will spin at that point in time once I've energized the relay. The relay gets energized by this. This is a ground wire. And the relay gets energized by this connection right here. Let me get this fuse out of the way. This connection right here, which goes up to the starter button on the handlebar. So I'm going to run a wire from the starter button on the handlebar all the way down to here, activate this relay, throw the many big bolts down onto the starter, and the starter will spin the motor. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to make some new cables that are long enough to do the job. Over here I have the new 6-gauge wire that I'm going to use. Here I have the 6-gauge connectors that I'm going to use. Here I have the hydraulic press that crimps these onto here. And it's a heck of a crimper. So that's what I'll use to do that job. Then I've got other bits and pieces to install. These are all came. I'm going to go back on the bike. Okay. I just thought I'd show you this. These are all the spare parts that Alton includes in their kit, just in case you're ham-handed and lose something. Not that I know of anybody who's ham-handed, but if you saw the previous part of this video, you know that Kevin and I were struggling. We talked about that. This is not a hard installation. It is somewhat, I'm not going to say critical, but you got to you got to be careful. Now, the efforts we had today putting this stator on seems stupid and excessive, but it wasn't that hard. It's just us trying to get those washers in the right places. And we talked about it and then we said, now, if we were doing this every other day, but that's a 2-minute job. What we're doing it is one time every month and a half in a year, or actually less than that, because I guess I've installed a dozen of these over the last 20 years, which means less than once a year, which means it's a learning curve every single time I do it. And I have all kinds of videos, all kinds of photographs, and all kinds of notes that I make to myself. But I tell you, every time I do it, it's a learning curve. If this is the first time you're ever going to do it on your own bike, it's going to be a learning curve. And that's just the way it is. You have to live with the learn. So, yeah, it looked like we were thrashing pretty bad, and maybe we were, but we got the job done. And it looks good, feels good, fondles good, and should work okay. And that's just the way it is with any major modification to a motorcycle. The first time is always more difficult, and the first time this year is also extremely difficult. So right now I'm going to make the new power cables that go from the battery to the relay to the motor, and the motor to ground, and then see how much more energy I have, as it is noon 30, and I started here at 8:30 this morning, so I'm a little tired. So we'll see what I can accomplish in the next hour or so. Well, I thought I'd take a moment and just show you how this heavy-duty hydraulic crimper works. You put the fitting in here. You put the wire in your fitting, if you want. I mean, this is a ground wire, so I'm going to put a shrink on at this point. Could put it on later. And stick the wire into the and start cranking. All right. Now let's release it. And how's that for a crimp? That's not going anywhere. Okay. I'll shrink this. And this end will go down on the motor. Okay, we're at a stopping point here. It's 3:15 in the afternoon, and I'm tired. I started about 8:30 this morning. We got the Alton starter completely installed. All we have to do is stick electrons right here, and it will spin. So we may get to that tomorrow. After Kevin went home, I continued working on electrics. This is the ground wire that goes directly from positive right down to the engine to ground this starter motor. So that's a really good ground. The next step in the installation is to take this positive and run it down to this connector on the starter relay. And then from the starter relay, run a wire all the way down, around, and over to this electrical connection right there. Once that's done, that'll complete the electrical part. Then all I have to do is take the starter button, which is going to be up on the handlebar, and connect it to, let's see, where'd that little wire go? Oh, here it is in here. This little wire that's hanging out in the breeze. Once I connect the starter motor to that, starter switch button to that, the installation will be complete. I'll run a separate wire all the way from that switch up on the handlebar down the backbone down to here in order to accomplish that. The charging system is installed. Alternator is connected to this. rectifier, and the rectifier is connected to the battery, so the charging system is installed. Coming off the battery, we have power, which then turns right around and goes to the switch right here, like that. That'll activate the ignition switch. Once the ignition switch is wired, this is your ignition on from the switch. This is your lights on from the switch. This is your tail light on from the switch. And this is a ground wire that's just going to be used for the common ground. I'll put a multi-junction connector right here, and anybody who needs a ground will get connected to that. So it'll be one common place. This is the wire going to the front. It has a ground that'll be hooked up here, and a white wire for the ignition. That'll be done in here. I'm going to make all of these connections in this area right here, in this triangular area right here, and then build a small cover out of PVC or ABS plastic that'll go across here and hide them from easy view so they won't be seen. Let's see, that's where we are. About halfway through wiring in the electric. About 99% complete putting in the Alton starter. Oh, and we also reinstalled the timing cover over here along with the AMR modification. So we made some serious progress today. Started at 8:30, it's now almost 3:30, and I'm going to go in there and post these videos and call it a day. Okay, it's a beautiful day. Clouds, sun. It was cloudy dark, but now it's cloudy bright. So, there you go. That's the way it is here on Griswold Road, where the fun just never stops.